Welcome to Go Big or Go Broke, where you'll learn the method, madness, and making of impactful millionaires. And now, here's your host with the most, Cathy Karabetsos.
Hey there, podcasters. I'm Cathy Karabetsos, your host of Go Big or Go Broke. Thank you so much for joining me today. My special guest today owns Nimble Marketing and is a Facebook and sales funnel marketing coach. He previously contracted at Facebook on their marketing experts team before beginning his agency, which builds businesses and influencers grow and monetize their audience through sales funnel optimization and product creation. Please join me in welcoming John Vishnesky to the show. Welcome, John. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me here, Cathy.
It's absolutely my pleasure and honor, and I know that we see each other all over the social media platforms, so it's very cool to finally meet kind of face-to-face. This is awesome, thanks to technology. And I think if we're going to dive right in, John, let's go with, tell us a little bit about John the Man, where it is that you are in today's world, where did you come from, and then how did you come to be in business?
Yeah, sounds good. So I guess I could kind of start from where I kind of came from. I grew up in a small town in Northeast Texas of 3,000 people, and I always played music, and so I kind of moved here to Austin to kind of play music and be in a rock band, but I started kind of getting in touch with the entrepreneurial community around here and learning about, Facebook marketing, and I did Amazon for a little bit and all that good stuff, but I ended up quitting my job at a investment firm for a while when my wife and I got married, and we went on a extended kind of honeymoon to Southeast Asia. Excellent. And while we were doing that, I was running an Amazon product, and it was kind of my means of living at that point. But Amazon shut me down about halfway through that trip, and I was like, all right, I got to figure out something else to do. And not rely on Amazon.
That's painful.
And so we got back to town. I had a friend who was working at Facebook, and she was like, hey, we've got this awesome position that just came up. I think you'd be great for it. Does it sound like something you'd be interested in? I said, yeah. So definitely I went in and I got to learn from Facebook how to use their products and how to get results. And then they kind of threw me in the pit and said, all right, call 200 of these advertisers and see if you can get them to spend more on the platform and use these products. And so I got to meet all these different business owners who were doing all these different things, and it was really cool because I got to kind of see the backside of things. So
what they do. You right there. You had me at you had to call them.
Yeah, and that was my first time getting to a real semi-phone salesy kind of thing, because these people didn't know I was calling them.
Of course.
And it was kind of cool. So that was a good experience for me, and it helped for whenever I moved into my own agency after that, after I left Facebook.
Note to our audience that there was a very positive interaction and learning from you cold calling these lists of people.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a little scary, right?
Oh, it is. But I love that you do it, because people don't understand how important and crucial it is to actually pick up the phone and start talking to people.
Super important to make those relationships, and it's a lot easier to make those relationships person to person or phone call to phone call than it is just to try and build that through an email, which is something I do as well. But I think if you can do that more personalized kind of communication, it really helps speed things up and builds trust, I think.
I think I'm going to talk to you sidebar after this and ask for you to do a commercial for us.
Cool. I would definitely love to do that. Yeah.
It's great.
So yeah, I left Facebook after they shut our team down after about 8 months or so. And I was like, okay, I'm going to take this time. I know I've got this new skill doing Facebook ads, and a lot of businesses really need it right now. And so I'm going to start offering that up as a service. And I started working with kind of local businesses for a while. And that was really great. But I've kind of learned that I really like working with, influencers and people that have audiences that I can help them market to, because a lot of times they need help building out higher end products and stuff where they can, help more people and also charge more. And I've kind of gotten more into that sphere over the last year or so, as well as getting really, really deep into Facebook chatbots and kind of incorporating all that together into one package.
Very, very cool. Well, I noticed that you do use bots when I checked you out on the web, so that is super cool and exciting. So tell us kind of how you evolved from just basic marketing to maybe you could also list for us the niches. I know that you are working with businesses and influencers. Are you more niched down than that specifically to any particular industries?
Nothing quite yet. I'm kind of really searching for, people that have like larger audiences.
Okay.
So if they've got audiences and they have the ability to help them, I think it's a good fit.
Excellent. Fantastic. Well, that's fantastic. So what is your why? Obviously, necessity is pretty much how entrepreneurs start their journey. You had some situations, and then Facebook shut down whatever program you were working on. And then out of necessity, they launched your business. But, as we evolve as entrepreneurs, we sort of fall into our why and what's the reason we're doing it and the reason we want to continue to do it. Obviously, we need to pay the bills. You're married, you want to take care of your wife, or you guys want to participate in that marriage together, financially speaking. Maybe there's a family down the road. What is your why, John? I'd like our audience to understand, because we bring people on the show to hear their why and what provoked you, I guess, into wanting to go big. And what is your big dream? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I think my why is to provide as much value as possible to the marketplace and just to people, and to like cultivate like really awesome like relationships where I can help as many people as possible. And like I've started doing like a Facebook group over the last year and a half or so, and I've really, really enjoyed that, getting to connect with a lot of people that are doing kind of similar things and kind of show them, what's working for me, and like teach them how to do the same thing if they're kind of maybe a couple of steps back behind me where I was, like I could say, all right, this is the path that I took. It worked for me. Let me show you how to do it as well. And I love kind of seeing people kind of take that information, run with it, and start helping out other people as well.
Excellent. So helping others and watching them thrive and growing together is part of your why.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, and I think that's why entrepreneurs do start out initially as well. For those in our audience that are not quite familiar with the whole funnel thing, can you give us a quick rundown of funnels, optimization, and then product creation? Because those are the things that you're highlighting and what you're focusing on for your customers and your niche. Can you just walk us through that a little bit?
Yeah, sure thing. So you can think of
level. What's a funnel?
Yeah, so a funnel you can think of, it's the path that someone comes through your world and your business, I guess. So you've got like, say a cold lead, which would be someone who doesn't know anything about you at all. Sure. They might find you on a Facebook ad or come across you if you have like, say, YouTube content or blog content up. When they find you, you want to capture their information as soon as possible, or they might be gone like a speck of dust in the wind, and you'll never find them again. And so usually the way the sales funnel works is with some sort of lead generation, where you will give them something for free, like a free guide, a free video, a free training. And from there, they come into your sphere. And I like to do that through messenger bots, because with Facebook Messenger bots, you get them inside of your messenger where you can send them automated messages and then broadcast messages, let them know about other things that you're doing. If you say have some sort of content you're putting out, you want them to know about that, or you're doing some sort of offer. Sure. But within Facebook Messenger bots, you can also collect other data as well. So like if it's a local business, I would do emails plus phone numbers and send that over to the business so they could call them as well, or help them with calling and automated texting and stuff. But usually if it's outside of that, it's a little tougher to get those phone numbers. People are a little bit more hesitant to give those up. And so if it's like a normal kind of online business or something, you would go from the Facebook Messenger bot into like an email, collect an email, and then start them into maybe a drip campaign where you're letting them know about you, you're introducing them to your brand, and maybe making some sort of an offer for them. And then you can use that information to retarget them with Facebook. And now I would call them maybe a warm audience. And so a warm audience is someone that knows a little bit about you. And so you can start making maybe bigger asks for them. Hey, we've got this program for you might be interested in. Come check this training out. You can do like a webinar. You can do a little video course. You can just have a sales page. And then once they're in there, then maybe this person they really know you, they really trust you, they love you. Then you can take them up to maybe a high ticket offer, a couple thousand to even more than that. But the thing is, like with like a sales funnel, you don't want to start them off at the top, because like if someone doesn't know anything about you, they're not going to pay you $1,000 right off the bat, unless you get super lucky and like, yeah.
It's like calling them on the phone saying, "Hey, I have a great deal for you. Give me 20,000. Open your checkbook, please." Not going to happen.
Nope, not going to work unless the stars align and you just got a lot of social proof or something. But yeah, it's just all about kind of cultivating. Kind of goes back to cultivating relationships.
Absolutely.
And this is cultivating a relationship with someone who's just kind of coming into your world, to gaining the trust and like wanting to reciprocate all the value that you've given to them. That's kind of how I think about sales funnels.
Excellent. And so the way that you described that, basically the whole old school mixed with new school, by the way, thank you for continuously adding in those quality. The telephone is just music to my ears and warming my heart. But using old school with new school and using email, obviously, people say all the time, cold calling is dead and email's out. Baloney. We know that that's not, but we love the hot new things, and we're augmenting our marketing efforts with all the digital strategies, which is amazing. And that's the power of bringing old school to new school, and I love it all. So, but the process that you just described, going through the funnel, is that how you're optimizing your funnel, by working it through the entire process like that? Is that what you are calling optimization?
Yeah. So within that, like one of the biggest things that you need to think about with optimizing your funnel is doing research, like actually knowing who your audience is. Like if you can call them on the phone, like you said, that is as good as it gets. Like you can talk to them, you can see what they say, you can find out what their pain points are, how you can help them, and actually get the language that they use in their everyday life. And if you can incorporate that language they're like saying on the phone or inside a form that you give them, then they're going to see your ad copy, they're going to see your sales copy, and they're going to say, this is speaking directly to me. Like it sounds exactly like me. This is the person that I want to be involved in.
They heard me, they feel me, they get me. They understand me, they feel my pain, they know my pain. And now they're answering my pain. I love it. Thank you so much. And the way that you articulated that is perfect. So again, I think I have some commercials here I got to pull out of this episode. So thank you very much. So the next question on product creation. Do you help your clients create their products, or when you work with them or engage with them, do you think that they're already down the line on product creation, or is it a combination thereof?
I do. It really depends on where they're at that moment, but a lot of times I feel like some of the clients that I've been working with, they have smaller ticket offers that are really good for getting people in the door. Maybe if they're kind of like, say, a cold to a warm kind of part of the funnel, I guess. But at that point, they've already cultivated these relationships. They've put a lot of value out in the community. And I think that it's very doable and very easy for them to start, upping their cost per product they're putting out there and like offer more value. And so we're designing these products for them where it's like longer term coaching programs and things like that, where they can, charge anywhere from $500 to $1,000, $2,000 for this. And their audiences wants this because they want that relationship. They don't just want to, like sometimes they want to buy a guide, but like once they get there, they're going to want that next step up, and so they're going to want that personalized coaching. They're going to want a little bit more high touch. And with that high touch goes a higher price point, but people are willing to pay that if it's going to help their problem they're going through. And it all goes back to the research. So one thing I'm finding is like, if you show them that you can like put out these Google Forms with like a few questions and find out like what are the challenges they're going through, what is it they want right now, and then that helps you build your product. And it's exactly what the audience is wanting. And so you're not guessing.
Yeah, asking intelligent and relevant questions and then really listening to them and articulating back to them that you've heard them. I think that is key behind any great sales and marketing effort. If you're not doing that, it's the basics and you're just not going to win. It's going to be much more difficult and challenging. That's excellent. So how long have you been at this, John? How long have you been in business, an entrepreneur?
So I started the Amazon stuff, I guess it was probably about 6 years ago. And that kind of, I started getting the like copywriting and Amazon and like just trying to find my way. Like I had what everyone says is, like my eyes were everywhere. Like I'm going to try this, 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 I'm going to try this. Shiny object was everywhere, and trying to figure out what, fit for me.
Sure.
And Amazon was the first thing that kind of clicked. but it didn't end up sticking for me. And then, I guess it was about 3.5 years ago, I kind of started getting into Facebook ads and starting a digital marketing agency.
Very cool. It's very exciting. It's a great space to be in. Obviously, everything's always changing with Facebook, so it's lovely to meet people that are actually paying attention to the finite details and bells and whistles and how you can augment with AI and bots and things of that nature. So it's super cool. Can you share with our audience maybe a case study or a testimonial or some type of an example, or walk us through a life of a client that you've yielded results for? So maybe you could talk about what was their concern or issue, the problem that you were solving, the solution that you brought to the table for them, and then some of the results that you are yielding for them or have yielded for them in times past, so that our audience understands how effective your particular service is.
Yeah, definitely. So pretty recently, I was working with one of my clients, and she had a $70 product she was selling, and it was just a really smoking hot deal for what she was offering. It was just like, a 12-week training program with a Facebook group and all that good stuff that people had access to. And before that, she tried Facebook ads before and didn't really have like the retargeting and everything set up to where people were seeing the offer maybe once and then maybe getting a couple emails. And you have to really put this stuff in front of people and give them maybe a time commitment to make them sign up for this kind of stuff. And so I can't even remember exactly the number she'd sold in like previous months, but I think it was probably about $4,000 or $5,000 worth of those in like a 7-day period when she would open up the cart and close the cart. But whenever I kind of came on, I really revamped the email marketing aspect of it and kind of like went through that research first and found out what her audience really wanted, and then started incorporating all that into the email copy I was writing and put in a big email funnel. And then also people were coming in through the chat bots. And so we had chat bots where we were going to send out notifications. All right, cart's open right now. Cart's closing in 5 days.
Sure.
And we did a lot of Facebook retargeting. And within 7 days, selling a $70 product, we were able to do 22,000.
Wow.
I guess. I mean, these numbers can get way higher if you have a higher ticket product.
Sure.
But for selling, we sold a lot of $70 products on that one. And that was a really fun one to work on for sure.
That's super exciting. So she already had it, and I want to make sure that our audience understands, because there's a difference between a cold audience and then having a warm audience, people that obviously have already been engaging. So she already had an audience. Can you speak to the size of the audience that you were engaging with as far as her social media, maybe her retarget list size, and also her email marketing platform? If you can give us an idea, like a peek or window into that.
On the email part, I think we had about 28,000, I think.
Good.
And then she has, a large following on Facebook, 100K. And then she also had, I can't remember how many YouTube subscribers she has, but she's got a decent amount. She's got a large following. And so the retargeting is pretty key on that, because we've got this large audience to pull from. She gets a pretty decent amount of site traffic as well. And so doing retargeting audiences with the email list, with the people who've been on her Facebook, her page audiences as well.
Sure.
And that was super helpful. So we had people coming in the month or two before, cold audience, kind of warming them up, going through the email sequence that I kind of set up. And I think that helped to kind of build them up to start trusting her that they would want to be a part of her program. But mostly we were reaching out to that 1 week it was all warm pretty much.
Incredible. Congratulations. Well done. It's in 7 days. That's amazing on that size of an offer. So are there any other examples that you'd like to share today as far as something different and or a different product, maybe different ticket amount, higher or lower, that you would like to share as far as a quick case study?
Yeah, definitely. I just got off with working a little side project with a friend who works with this all-inclusive resort in Cancun, Mexico. And it's pretty crazy because these are pretty high ticket prices for people to sign up for these things.
Sure.
We set up a pretty simple remarketing campaign on that. I think over the last 2 months we spent $5,000 and we got $45,000 back off of a 5,000 ad spend just from people that are going here. Because if you can really nail down your retargeting, I mean, that's when you're going to get your crazy results on this stuff. And yeah, they've got really great quality content, really beautiful videos. And so we were doing really retargeting with these really beautiful videos of the resort and stuff like that. And just one thing we were doing is putting like, if you sign up today, you get 50% off. But like you pretty much get 50% off anytime from what their normal prices would be.
Sure.
But just say like, it's not lying really. It's just saying like today this is happening. Like you can get this today, and like people see that and they're gonna want to. Oh wow, I should do that later. Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like I need to do this right now.
Exactly. So if you can kind of like make them. Yep. And
right.
So we were doing like a lot of stuff like that, and that was a kind of a fun one as well.
That is amazing. So, before we wind down the show today, what we always ask for our audience is some practical tips on how they too might big. So if people are listening to the show today and saying, I listened to this conversation with John, he's awesome, he's a great marketer, and I understand how he's getting people to market and sell their things through bots and through Facebook ads and retargeting, and being an influencer and having an audience is really important. So everybody build your audience. Please build your audience. And you do that by building relationships, guys. Make sure that you do that. And if you need to find John, maybe you could first of all tell us how our audience can find you. And then I'll ask you maybe for 3 practical tips or a couple of ways that our audience can take away today to say, I too can go big.
Cool. Sounds good. Yeah. If you want to join my community, it's called the Chatbot Agency Ninjas.
Excellent.
And I'd love to have you in there. We don't just talk about only chatbot stuff. Like yesterday, we had a really awesome copywriter, marketer, like products guy came in. And then we've got anything from like how to really effectively use like Asana and like project management and stuff like that to awesome like Facebook ad stuff. And so it kind of runs the gamut. But one of the main things I focus on is kind of teaching about chatbots. And I think if you're looking for like your first like marketing agency kind of thing to start, I think chatbots is a great way of doing it. It's low ticket to entry. Once you kind of learn a couple things about it, like it's very easy to get really great results with chatbots. Like there's like, for a while they were getting like really incredible results where you get, 95% open rates and 34% click-through rates. And now, it's gone down a little bit, but it's still sky high. And so it's still like, it's kind of the new frontier still, and it's ever changing. So I think if you want to, get into that stuff, come by and check us out.
I highly recommend you do that, audience, because it is like the Wild West out there and things are changing so quickly. You definitely need to be working with experts when it comes to anything that you want to do in the marketing category, especially digital marketing. So make sure you reach out to John so they can find you in the group. Are there any other ways that they could find you, John, on any other platforms?
Yeah, Facebook and LinkedIn are kind of my 2 platforms I guess I'm hanging out at these days.
Wonderful. And we'll definitely leave the show notes so that everyone can find you. And what about some practical tips or ideas for people to say, I too can go big? Any ideas that you can leave our audience with today?
Yeah. So I think the best thing is like find someone that you want to work with that you can help, and then just don't even pitch them. Just try and get to know them and talk to them and like find out like what problems are they having. It all goes back to like doing this research. If it's a type of business you want to work with, just go ask them questions. Like if you can, take them out for coffee, jump on a quick phone call, quick Skype, and just see how you can help them. Like see if you can like provide value. Maybe you can connect them with somebody, and you'll learn a whole lot, and you'll make these relationships, and they'll probably kind of come back and help you out at some point,
Excellent. That's fantastic advice. And honestly, in addition to you being an entrepreneur and being successful where you are today, you really should be training people on the art and skill of sales, because people freak out about having to sell. But as an entrepreneur, we have to sell ourselves all day long. But it truly is only about relationships and building them and trusted relationships. And that only comes with conversation. So I can't tell you how refreshing it was to get to know you today, John, and listen to you talk so highly about nurturing relationships and how important it is, because that is our vision, mission at QCSS, my company. So thank you. It means the world to me today. Thank you again for being with us. We'll make sure that we send this out to the world so that everybody can get to know John. Very talented man. Everybody, thank you so much for being with us today. Please subscribe to the show below by clicking that red subscription button. Rate the show. Share it out to all your friends so they too can go big. I am Cathy Karabetsos, and you can find me at cathykarabetsos.com on Linkbook, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Have a grateful day, everybody, and don't forget to go big.
You've been listening to Go Big or Go Broke with Cathy Karabetsos. If you enjoyed this episode, then you better play big and hit that subscribe button.